So I'm Rob, Rob Clare on Facebook. I've got the page Great Fun on Small Bikes. Over 10,000 members now. I love my small bikes. Here's my collection. Yeah, I'm going to ramble on about them, so here I go. And little Schraube. This one was a Mikey special.
Oh, we all have Mikey, don't we?
Yeah, Mikey Santa. He found it on Facebook, Marketplace. Took it all the way up to Scotland. Was this? Actually, no, he was on his way up to Scotland a bit. The courier was on his way, and we turned the courier around. I brought it before it even made it to Thurso. Yeah, I'm sure this was one. It was either this one or one of the others. I buy so much off him, and he buys so much off me, but I'm pretty sure it was this one. I got this during the first lockdown, and again, same as the Heinkel, it was been off the road for ages. It's been 1990, this one, and a bit of fresh fuel and a carburettor rebuild, and fired right up. And I've not, as you can see, not really done much else with it, other than the vape ignition system. Just a 12 volt it to make it that bit more sort of usable, really. But yeah, light and ratty. Not really interested in shiny bikes, which you'll be definitely proved with the next one. I think this is the one most people know about that I own.
What's the history of this one when we get it out?
Oh mate, this one's so I've owned it 11 years now. I wanted a bike to do a charity ride on, 60 odd participants, all on 50 cc's. And I was looking and looking. I brought a little Thomas, and I was going to do it on that, but my first bike was a C50, so I really wanted to get hold of another one, just from a sort of nostalgia point of view. And I was on holiday, and I'd put a couple of wanted ads out. I got a phone call while I was on holiday. The bloke was 5 miles away from me, and he said, "Oh, I don't know, I do want to get rid of it." He said, it's a bit expensive though, £200. So I'll come and have a look when I'm back from holiday. So definitely hold it for me. Went and had a look, and I bid him 150. We met in the middle at 180, and I rode it home. Clutch was slipping, so I did the clutch on it, and I rode it for about a year like that, just getting used to it. Before the trip, I commuted on it. It was my only transport. So I was taking this up the A2 into London as a 6-volt 70. So it was sort of like sitting there, you know, that hill up to Bluewater, 20 miles an hour, with all the trucks going past you, bibbing. I was like, yeah, lovely too. Put a 50 top end on it. Did 1,100 miles, John O'Groats to Land's End in 7 days. With 60 other guys at the time of our lives. Phenomenal trip. Camping all the way. You know, we had a whole sort of team of people who go around and help us out, set the tents up and everything. And then sweep the van, sorting it out afterwards, you know, coming round behind to make sure, you know, we weren't sort of getting overtaken dangerously and stuff like that. We split them all into groups, so ours was a C50 group, and then there was a Fizzy group, and then there was the slow shit group as well, which was all random stuff that would have fitted into that, you know. And then just over the years, it's kind of just evolved, because I got in with the guys in the C90 club, and they were all riding 12 volts. And I was getting left behind. I put a 70cc top end on it, but I just kept cooking it, trying to keep up with them because I had a big valve head on it. So I stuck the oil cooler on, and then again I seized the engine again during a winter ride, coming down the A2 in the snow, and I thought, right, that's it. I'm going to go 12 volts. So I put a C90 12 volt bottom end, and I'm no engineer, as you can see. I'd like to say I did it properly and I opened up the crankcases, but really what I did is I used a flat disc on a drill and I shoved the bin bag inside the crankcase to stop all the aluminium going in. And then afterwards I just yanked it out, flushed it through with some oil, and that was about 15,000 miles ago. No trouble at all. So I was setting it up to do the Dragon Rally a couple of years back with a mate called Steve. Steve sadly isn't with us anymore, but he was a real sort of small bike enthusiast, and in the end, I ended up doing it in his for his hospice where he passed, and raising a bit of money there as well. So that was good. So I did Dragon Rally, so we did 320 miles in a day from the Isle of Sheppey to Conway in North Wales with all the camping gear in February. Yeah, and it just runs and runs. It's a tourer, really. It's got a little cylinder head temperature gauge on it, oil cooler, sits at 45 all day long for 400 miles if I want it to. With the 2 tanks as well, you know, don't have to fill up that much. So it's just evolved over the years into what it is now. Choke cable, which is a cable type on the carb. It does the job. Well, because it's got 12-volt carb, so obviously usually you'd have the choke up here, wouldn't you? But I've kept, when I wired it all in to 12-volt, I did a sub-loom and then spliced into the original loom. I don't like changing all the switch gear, I like the original 6-volt stuff, so yeah, that's my choke now. It's one of the trade-offs. So it's been a while since this has run, so.
Yeah, 2 kicks.
Honda, isn't it? Yeah.
It's very quiet. Like normally you have a bit of a rattle going on, but it's very quiet.
Yeah, it's not.
If not the exhaust or something, but it's very, very quiet.
Yeah, it's not a bad little thing. Again, it's, you know, it looks thrown together, but you know, mechanically, I'd jump on it and ride it to Scotland tomorrow. Well, today if I could. Yeah, that's another one of the stories. It chain snapped and it smashed up the side casing. That's one of the wife's old baking trays. I was only supposed to do it to, you know, because I was riding it to work then, and that was about 5-6 years ago now. It's still on there. Does the job, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Does the job.
That's awesome. And you got a little tank there as well?
Yeah, just off an old Honda generator. So just plumbed in on a 6-volt, so it's 12-volt carb obviously on the 90 engine, but 6-volt petrol tap with a twin spigot. So then you can take off your normal tank, which is, this tank's been changed for a larger 12-volt 90 tank, 6-volt 90 tank. So all the tanks are different sizes as well. The 50's smaller, then the 70's in the middle, and the 90's the biggest range. So 90 tank, straight into one, and then that one straight into another, and then it's just got an on-off there because it cycles back on itself otherwise and fills the tanks up. So I just sort of, as I'm going along, I can just swap it there, and you can do that quite easily.
What's the mile range with that tank, both tanks filled?
It's about 120, a little bit more. You know,
Good,
you'd probably go more, but I mean, by then you want to stop, you know, that's enough, isn't it?
That's a good couple of hours, isn't it? That's
yeah,
maybe 3 hours, maybe.
Even
Yeah.
motorway speeds, you know, you're not averaging 50 all the time, are you? So,
That's really quiet.
it's got,
I like that.
Changed the carb quite recently. Mikey again had, I think one of his mates had a set of really decent original Honda carbs. They were spotless. The guy had sort of like even like rebuilt them all and wrote when he'd rebuilt them on the bag. And I got one of those and swapped it over, and it's been lovely since. It's almost like a brand new engine again. There you go. Not bad going.
You don't get anything these days that sounds like that, do you?
Really? Yeah, it's a lovely old thing.
And there's the badge of honour.
Yeah, it's been cut
John
open
Glee.
there. Yeah, John O'Groats and Land's End.
No, oh, you went from the top to the bottom?
Top to the bottom,
Oh,
yeah.
right, 'cause normally it's like
downhill
jog,
then,
isn't it?
Yeah. It's much easier.
Yeah, downhill's always better for a cub. They always run better downhill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so, and there's a 49cc, obviously, yeah, so. And we ended up doing more than 1,000 miles, but we'd already put the stickers on there. And then obviously it's done Scotland, Land's End, 2 Dragon rallies. Did the TT before I got it, not in 71, but, you know, that was why the guy brought it, not I brought it off.
Oh, we know who these guys are.
Yeah.
Matt Reese.
Yeah, he's a good bloke, yeah.
Awesome, man.
Chats with him on Facebook, and just finished reading his book, actually, so, great.
That's funny because we're giving some of those books away on...
Yeah, I know. I can't believe the story now. I won't go into any details for giving it away, but, you know, it's amazing. You can't believe some of the stuff he got up to. It's really good read, so, yeah, good book, definitely worth buying if you don't win it. And then, obviously, you know, there you go.
The Kent one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Kent Loop.
Oh.
What else have we got on there? There you go. Noise test passed at Brands Hatch when I did a track day. I took it on a track day around Brands Hatch because they they
Past
didn't
Scrutineering?
have a lower CC limit. So I checked all the rules before I went. And yeah, there's a video on YouTube somewhere. If you type in Honda C70 Brands Hatch, it's this bloke on an RD and he just couldn't believe it. I said, well, no, but neither will anyone else. So would you mind taking a video? And he did, and it's out there. But yeah, the officials really didn't want me to run. I said, I commute on it all the time. I go around the M25. I said, it can't be much worse than the M25, you know. And in the end, he said, oh, you haven't got the right boots. You've only got, so I had like Army Para boots at the time. And this bloke, because it was in the brief, the safety briefing, he went, I've got some spare boots. And everyone was like, yes. And he said, look, one lap, if you hold anyone up or you're dangerous, you are coming off. And I said, no, that's fine, totally get it. And as I was coming past the start-finish line, you see them all going, yeah, and he went, go on. So I did the whole thing. But yeah, no, it's just a laugh, really. My dad was doing the track day and he was a little bit nervous, so I said I'd go around on this and take the attention away from him, because he was, what, 75 at the time. Yeah, it's done Santa Pod, it's done a quarter mile at Santa Pod as a 50, because we had this whole, when we were doing the John O'Groats Land's End thing, oh, my 50's faster than your 50, so I said, right, we'll take them all to Santa Pod and we'll find out. But they were all so slow that the clock runs.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're so slow down the quarter mile. It's like you get to the end. What speed you do? The clock ran out of time. So.
I've never heard that before, man.
That was a good laugh.
Never heard that
was
before.
A good laugh. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's some flash hooks on there, man.
Yeah.
That's an industrial size hooks. Those ones.
Thailand special, I think. To be fair, but those ones are just like a generic thing. They're like tie-down bolts. You can get them anywhere, any builders.
You could tow a Land Rover with that.
Yeah, yeah. And then you've got a little cylinder head temperature gauge in there, so that tells me everything I need to know. That's really, really great. So I know if that gets over 180, I need to.
That's a really good
panic.
idea. I need one of those.
It's great, and you can tell what difference your cooler makes. Think, oh, if it goes, well, you've got an oil cooler on the 110, you know. But I was running at about 200 degrees at one stage on that. I put the oil cooler on, I got it down to 180, drilled the holes in the front and got it down to 150, 160. So it really does make a difference, and you know, when you're using it that much, you know, big miles in a day, it's silly not to, you know, anything to protect the engine really. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
You think this is slow? Wait until we go uphill. Classic.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolute
you do get a few
classic.
people who are wound up, sat behind it, but they underestimate it. You know, they overtake you, and they overtake you now. Yeah, I think they just all think it's, you know, little slow moped, but it's quite fast for what it is.
Got some kit on there, man. It's like you've
Yeah.
added a bit and then you just added another bit just in case.
Yeah, that's for the two LED lights, so I can just switch them on and off. I've never really finished wiring it in, but it works. We've got obviously 12 volt and two USBs. That was my temperature gauge because I wanted to. So when I got to the Dragon Rally, you know, say, oh look, I'm in minus figures, but I mean, water's got in it now, it doesn't work properly. But never bothered taking it
You need the
off.
wind gauge for the last one we had with Storm Tiara.
No, that was a nuts, wasn't it? Yeah.
Absolute.
Yeah.
The old poor old Cub. Oh man.
Yeah,
But the old Cub survived when the old big bikes just got blown off the road.
Yeah, same. Was that the one? I think I missed that one, but the one before was quite windy as well. That was the last one I did. So what was that? 2000. I don't think it says. It's 2017. 2018. There we go.
Right,
2018. Okay. Yeah, that was in a valley.
That flooded out this year.
Yeah, it did. It flooded.
Flooded out.
Yeah,
Everyone
but
said that's where they camped last year, and it was completely
It
underwater.
was almost like there was a couple of big gusts that came down the valley, and I see there was tents flying into the river, into the lake. There was one guy going, "My panniers are still in there," and his tent's gone. And he had some shout out, "My helmet, that's my 800 quid helmet," or something like that, you know. And we'd done the Bruce Pollard rally the night before, which is Bruce Pollard's a really interesting British motorcycle figure. It's worth looking up actually. He used to go around the Dragon Rally serving everyone tea in his big teapot. Really eccentric guy with Big Norton. Anyway, so when he passed away, they did a rally in his honour the night before. So it's almost like the pre-Dragon. So you go up to that, and it was a really wet Bruce Pollard rally, and our tent just died. It was soaking. So we'd ended up going to Argos and buying a £40 single-skinned, you know, cheapy tent. and then we'd rocked up, and then everyone's having all this issues with the wind. Because we'd turned up late because we had to get a tent, we were behind some trees, didn't have a view, so obviously we were fine. Our little tent survived, no trouble at all, and the little bikes were fine. Everyone else getting out, which, feet on the pegs, just straight past them.
That's it, isn't it? The small bikes, get you out of get you out of big time.
And that was the year that I did it for Steve, and we went over a couple of passes up in the mountains, and caught some snow on the way back. And it was it was just really nice. It was a route that he'd planned, but then found out that he couldn't do it because he was ill. And we all said, well, once you get better, you do it next year. Come out next year. And obviously, it didn't happen. So we did it in his honour instead. And that was some superb roads we did there. And great ride. One of the best rides I've ever done on that, really. So, but yeah, that's about it, really. That's all of them.
Another quality sticker.
Yeah, that came off of Skipping Cornwall. Recycling Skipping Cornwall. So I'm having that.
Everything
to take the piss out the size of the top box.
Everything on that bike's got a story, isn't it?
Yeah,
everything.
It's evolved over the years, and it was when the kids were growing up, so I didn't have much money, and it's just, and I kind of like doing things myself as well, and like trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't, and it's quite nice. The screen came from one other guy who had it laying around, and apparently he was quite big in the C90 world and hoarded loads of spares. And when he passed away, they broke it all up, and so I got that. I can't remember the guy's name now, but and all the bits. I mean, the tank came off of a bike, a C90 that was found in a hedge. It was posted on the owners club, free to collector. So I ended up with this whole bike, whole C90, free of charge. But yeah, I've had a lot of C90s over the years. I've had a lot of bikes over the years, but C90s especially, I've had at least 30, 35 easily, if not more. Right, let's get this one off. This one will take a little bit of doing. Yeah, this whole thing's great fun. So good off-road.
It's got little 16s on it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wheels, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit smaller, isn't it? It's quite a small bike for a 250, really. When you stick it next to the cubs, it makes it look a little big.
I think you've done that a couple of times before, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's all well and good. The bike's like 800 quid and the camper van's like 25 grand, so, you have to watch it.
Is that what it costs now? 25 grand, yeah?
Silly money, mate. Yeah.
Is that a split window?
Split it, yeah.
Oh, that's like the golden egg, isn't it?
Yeah. So, one MZ ES 250 trophy. This one really hasn't been washed since about 1970. Again, old boy had it in his conservatory, and he was getting to the stage where he was never ever going to ride again, and he had a friend who was into the classic British bikes, and he just got it going and then posted it on the MZ Riders Club for sale, and he just had this little fuzzy video of it running, and it was ticking over beautifully, and he hadn't put a for sale price on it, and I just messaged him and said, well, how much are you after for it? 800 quid. So that was up in Norfolk, so I jumped in the van the next day and went and grabbed it, and I had 3 at the time. This was number 4. And I ended up breaking one and keeping all the bits. So I've got enough bits to keep this on the road forever and a day, but it never breaks. And I sold the other 2 and then made back everything sort of profit-wise, so I was sort of quids in the end. But yeah, again, new tyres, vape electronic system, 12-volt electronic ignition on it. But other than that, it's pretty much standard. Obviously, the tank's different because the tank was rusty, so I took the tank off another one I had. I was supposed to paint it right, but never got round to it.
Oh, so that's not original, the red and blue?
No, it's just...
right, looks cool.
Looks cool, but it kind of matches the cub as well. All my bikes end up sort of being red and blue. I don't know what it is. I'm not doing it on purpose, but yeah, they're all sort of red and blue. I don't know. And a bit of black thrown in just for good measure. But yeah, that's just a very odd bike. Nobody really sort of... You either love it or hate it. Same as all of these, really. They're pretty Marmite, apart from the cub. Everyone loves the cub. But yeah, it rides lovely. It's called a trophy because it won the International 6 Days Trials 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, as the tank badge says. And it's great off-road, which is why it's covered in mud, really, because there's loads of tracks around here, and yeah, it's good fun riding them. So, yeah, there you go, really.
I see you got a lovely sticker down there on the side casing.
Yeah, somebody put that there. Yeah.
That's a proper sticker, isn't it?
Yeah, this one's brilliant. This one.
That one there.
Yeah, no, this is the bike that joins us. Now you've got one too.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
No.
Because of Rob having an MZ, I thought it was pretty cool. It was a shock at first. An absolute shock when I saw it. So, what on earth is that? I thought, was there a candle in the light?
Yeah.
And so I went out and bought one, but I didn't get the 250 because they're a bit expensive and hard to come by. But I got the little
Yes, 150.
150, which has leaked so much oil out of my front path that the missus has put me in the dog box for the next 2 years.
We've seen all of this down here. You know, that's from the joint on the exhaust. That's just as bad, to be fair. Yeah. So, but again, stops it going rusty, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great fun. So, I mean, they're all, believe it or not, they're all on the road and road legal. Every one of them's running. The Heinckel's are a fun one too, because it's 12 volt and it's electric start. Aluminium, the footbolts are cast aluminium. Beautiful dial on it, and you know, it's just a lovely thing. Let's see if it start up. Put fuel on. Down here with the carburetor. Do fuel tap on it and fuel lines and everything like that, but it's got no choke or anything like it. You just sort of do that a few times and it sets the carb, and then there you go. 4-stroke as well, it's not 2-stroke.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it ticks over lovely.
Where can I get one? Where can I get one? It started.
There's a couple online. There's a Heinkel Tourist Facebook page, obviously. There is for everything nowadays, isn't there? And yeah, they come up for sale every now and again, but they're usually completely restored. And
so it's a 4-stroke.
It's 4-stroke. Yeah,
how many
it's not
cc?
2-stroke. 175.
175.
Yeah. It's like a little generator motor. Yeah. To ignore the battery, because I've stolen it off the sidecar and just squeezed it in.
Everyone loves a motorbike.
Yeah, yeah. They usually don't install them with a sponge and 2 rolls of tape though. That's a job. Yeah.
Very true, very true.
But what I found the other day, we're out on the rides, and Claire, one of our people who comes out riding with us, she's baking, and she did scones. She had an extra scone, so she left it down there in the football. I thought, what am I going to do with this? So dropped it in there. When I came home, it was lovely and warm. So I found out now that if I can sausage rolls or anything, I can stick them on the engine and go for a little ride, and then I've got like hot food for when I stop. It's lovely.
I think they tried to design a C90 like that with cooking pies in the exhaust system, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've seen that about a couple of rat bike shows.
Yeah, it's quite common.
It's posted on the group before, actually. But yeah, no, it's a work in progress. They all are when they're this old. But
look at that.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? You've got a little clock as an accessory to go in there. Sadly, this one hasn't got it, but it's just really well thought out. Like the ignition, when you do that, the starter is you push it in. I just think it's a lovely little feature, and then to stop it, you just pull the key out. I just think it's brilliant.
Just taste those glasses.
Yeah, again, that was Claire. She said I needed them, so I've attached them to there. I think they look cool. So.
It's simple, isn't it? It's very simple.
It's simple and basic, but
that's what you need, baby.
Everything is quality to it. As I said, the only thing I've still got a bit of time to sort out is these gears. I need the new clutch cable. I've done the gear cables were done by the last owner, but you pull the clutch in, and this is standard sort of scooter stuff, and then obviously you click it into gear by twisting it, but it's just a bit stiff. It's all right up the gears, but coming back down takes a bit of getting used to. So
the WD-40?
Well, I'll strip it all down and clean it, and we'll see what happens. It's a similar system to these things, and I've done these now, and they're a lot smoother. But
so what cc is this one here?
So this is 50. You can get kits to modify them up. You take them same as the Cub. They're like Germany's sort of Cub, really. So you can get everything to modify them, and you can 12 volt them, put bigger engines in, different 6-speed gearboxes. You can go to works with them. But I quite like it as a 50. There's something nice and raw about having a little 50cc, you know.
It's a lovely sound, isn't it? Makes a lovely sound.
Well, if you want, I'll do the honours. It's exactly the same as an MZ, this one, when it comes to starting. Got to prime it first. I don't think it'll need a choke because it is the hottest day of the year now. So. Yeah, so petrol on, 2 kicks. Switch it on, and then that should start up. Yeah. Again, it's perfect. It's all sorted out. It's just ratty with it. Lovely little thing.
That sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a lovely little bike. This great front through the lanes. Oh, we love a bit of haze. There you go.
That's good, man. Small man.
Yeah.
Wreck on it.
Yeah. Oh, what can you say? It's interloper again.
We're sneaking in.
It's a nice little thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can get all of it. It's like a brand new petrol tank. Yeah, like 6 days silver Vasa, so silver vase winner for Simpson. So they always advertise their sporting achievements, but yeah, got a little original pump under there, and I even went as far as laminating the wiring for the vape ignition system and leaving it underneath there. Not that it's ever given me any trouble, but you know, it seems silly to making a diagram up and then not put a copy of it on the bike somewhere just in
I've
case.
bought a whole lot of stuff. I've imported from Germany, but due to Brexit, it's been held in customs.
Everything is really slow, isn't it?
And I think I'm
expensive.
going to get text on it again. Which is
Nothing really. 'Cause,
I've dealt with these guys as well.
yeah, they're really
They
good.
got me my side stand.
Yeah, they're really good.
Quick stuff.
Good turnaround when before Brexit, and these guys as well. The AKF shop, they're the two that I use the most for the Simpson bits and the MZ bits. They've been great. Yeah, nice quality stuff. Good turnaround and quick postage. So yeah, and then the old trophy again as we're doing starting procedures. This one's a bit smoky.
They should be smoke. Yeah, I can.
It's a 2-stroke, you know. It is what it is.
So that's
isn't
how
it?
you start one of these, yeah. Because there is a neck to it.
So yeah, petrol on. So I'm nice and confident because I'm doing it in flip flops. Just 2 kicks on the Kickstarter. Switch the ignition on, and we should. I should. We're in front of the camera if I'm going to do it.
That's unusual. Yeah.
It probably flooded it.
Don't take much, does it, to flood them?
No. Oh well. Sod's law, isn't it? We'll retake that one.
It's broken, mate. You want to sell it? You want to sell it, mate? It's broken.
It's not happy because I took it off road. That's what it was. Got a choke on. It shouldn't need it, but
Nah,
Try
they
it.
just start spewing petrol out everywhere.
okay. Well, one of them's not going to work. I'm surprised at that. Okay. Well, try it again, and if not, we'll move on to the C70 instead. We'll leave this one to sulk.
Apparently they do, but if you just leave them on their side without a stand.
Yeah, it's just getting them into the garage. I'm surprised at that. It's usually pretty good to start. It's clearly not happy about being filmed. That's what it is. Yeah. I'm a bit stubborn. I want it to start now. I used to have an old Triumph, and I did this at a show. So they're kicking it and 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 kicking it. And literally everybody's sitting there. There's about 50 people waiting to go. They're all looking at me. Fucking old bike, you know, where's he got that? And this bloke came over and he went, turn your ignition on.
Oh, no.
In front of all these people.
No.
Yeah. There we go. So it's not like it's not to start up, so